So this is my Football League World Match preview of the Championship Player Final on next Saturday, where we will play Aston Villa at Wembley for a chance to get into that lucrative league, which is the Premier League. Reviewing the season so far, I think it's been a fantastic season for us down at the Cottage this season. One that I particularly enjoyed this season. Been going to Fulham for a number of years now, and it's definitely up there with some of the best times I've ever had as a season ticket holder as well. Going back to the start of the season, things weren't great. I think a lot of fans, including myself, expected us to continue the way we left off last season on that crest of a wave, on that good bit of momentum as well, which saw us rise into the top six. Really coming from nowhere, really. I mean, looking back at last year, we weren't in the top six at all until the right time, really. And I think a lot of our fans were expecting us to get some new players in new blood, and hopefully it all, we hit the ground running. But as we've seen before, time and time again, we signed, I think, about 8 or 9 new players, and they didn't really gel quick enough to some of the fans' expectancy, and results were quite sloppy, really. A growing trend throughout the early starts of the season was really going a goal up in their game and dropping off, and then turning them 3 points, losing 2 and getting a point out of them games. So it was a growing trend, especially the games against Norwich at home the first day of the season, and also Middlesbrough as well. 2 of them games really stand out particularly. We did take the lead late on in games, but that failure to kill games off led to us dropping points, and also picking up sloppy results against the likes of Burton Albion and Sunderland away from home. As we all know, Sunderland hadn't won a game in 2017 at home until we went up there. Last game of the calendar year for them at home, and we did go and fall away to a 1-0 defeat thanks to a Josh Maja late strike in that game as well. Also the game against Burton, a 2-1 defeat there. Bit of a suspect penalty, I think, back then, but results like that did probably cost us an automatic promotion place, I'd say. But moving into the second part of the season, it really did rise up from there. Savici Kavic managed to get his way in terms of signing new players. Craig Klein was in charge for our recruitment policy. He left the club after making a number of controversial signings who didn't really gel, didn't really materialise at Fulham. Probably one of the standouts being Johan Mollo. He did leave on a free. We signed him on a free, actually. He came on from St. Petersburg and ended up getting released in January due to probably not really taking his chances, really. He had a select number of appearances at Fulham, but didn't really look stand out and wasn't really a Savici Kavic player. As we all know, the three signings, in fact, who came in January, Matt Targett, Alexander Mitrovic, 2 ones who grabbed the headlines. Been absolutely fantastic for us this season. I think it's just exactly what we needed. I said before, time and time again, we needed a new left back and that type of striker who could get us the goals. We needed a bit more of a physical presence up front, because we was playing a lot of Rui Fonte up front. There was a 9 million signing from Portuguese side Braga, and also Boubacar Kamara. And them two weren't really cutting the mustard. Kamara was still quite a raw talent. He still is quite a raw talent. He's only 22 years of age, so he's got plenty of development ahead of him. Whereas Rui Fonte, 28 years old now, I think he is, and he probably wasn't what we were looking for in terms of a striker. He's quite a lightweight player for someone who's probably going to be expected to get goals in a tough division where you're expected to fight away out of it. He wasn't really what the stereotypical Championship striker probably would be in terms of getting you promoted. Mitrovic definitely fitted that bill. He's hit the ground running. Just exactly what we need in January as well. Scoring goal after goal, playing some really good stuff as well. His link-up play is absolutely crucial to the way we play. The ball sticks to him. Every time he gets into feet, it sticks to him. And the results were an absolute curtail. It's been fantastic. Highlight for me, probably that 6-0 against Burton at the start of January. That was a really good performance that day. One that really did get us on the way to playing some good football. Games such as Wolves at home, Villa at home definitely stand out to me as well. 2-0 wins in both of them games were just 2 fantastic nights down at Fulham as well, where the crowd really get, Craven Cottage was rocking in Hammersmith End that day. But looking at my player of the season, I would say my player of the season is Tim Ream, just for the fact Savici Kavic has actually worked wonders for the bloke. Since Kavic came in, Tim Ream was probably one of the worst players I'd say we had at the club. Kit Simons, he played him as a left back in the centre half, and Tim Ream absolutely lost and woeful. He'd make quite a few mistakes, very nervy on the ball. But if you fast forward now, 2 years, you probably wouldn't think he's the same type of player. He's probably the first name on the team sheet, I'd say, for me, if I was picking a Fulham team. His composure on the ball, second to none. His ball distribution, second to none as well. He's a great all-round defender, and he really sets the tone for the back four. He's that calming presence which you need in a good back four, especially in this Championship division where you're going to have a lot of players, especially the way we play. Teams like to press the ball against us, press us high up the pitch as well. So he's that fantastic presence there to try and set us on our way to playing the way we like to play. Unsung hero for me is probably Kevin McDonald, really. A big man on the terraces. A very well-respected player, but probably doesn't get the credit he deserves playing in that engine room position where you've got to try and win the ball back and get the ball flowing quickly for us. And I think he's our unsung hero. Doesn't get the praise he deserves, I don't think. An absolute steal from Wolves for, I think, £1 million it was in the end. And he's definitely my unsung hero for the season, and for the last 2 seasons as well. Worst player in our team, in our squad's probably David Button. I think he cost us a lot of points early on in the season. Very nervy on the ball, can't play with his feet. letting some sloppy goals, really. And ever since Marcus Batalis came in, he's been the absolute epitome of probably why we've done well. He's an absolute solid goalkeeper, and you can see such a big difference between the way Bettinelli plays. He gets that back four calm, he sets them up, really well. He's a good communicator with his back four, commands his box well as well. So two or three things David Button failed to do, and that's probably why he's probably my worst player in the squad at the moment. Looking ahead to next Saturday's game, Aston Villa have got a very good habit of killing off games, so we have to get the first goal. I think if Villa get the first goal, then it'll be a tough game for chasing the game against a side who do defensively quite well. Semi-final against Middlesbrough was a prime example of that. A very defensive, dogged unit, held out, only needed one goal in the end thanks to Mile Jednak's set-piece goal at the Riverside in the first leg on Saturday, followed by last night's gritty performance, holding Middlesbrough to a draw. And I think if we don't get that first goal, as I said, Aston Villa will grow in confidence. The likes of Albert Adoma, Jack Grealish, two players that have really stood out for them. Obviously, Lewis Grabban coming in on loan as well has been an absolute standout signing on loan from Bournemouth. Done well at Sunderland in the first half of the season, notched 12 goals for them as well. And he's chipped in with some crucial goals to Villa as well, notably against the likes of Wolves and Ipswich, where he played both particularly really good games there. My prediction for that game would probably be a 2-1 to Fulham. I think it'll be a very, very enjoyable occasion for both sides. Two big clubs in the league. Aston Villa probably most likely be the bigger club out of the two, no doubt about that. Be a very good game. Probably, for a neutral perspective, it'll probably be the two best teams you could probably want in this. Two Championship heavyweights going toe-to-toe, and it'll be a very enjoyable game. I do fancy Alexander Mitrovic to get a goal. I think we'll nick it 2-1 on the day, seal our promotion to the Premier League, and hopefully kick on from there. I think if we were to go up to Premier League, a mid-table finish would probably be realistic, I think, just to consolidate, stay up and go from there. I think we'd probably finish 15th or so in our first season. I'd see that as a relative success. You've got to look at the last three teams who went up last season. Brighton, Huddersfield, Newcastle all stayed up with mid-table finishes this season. So something like that for the first season back in the Premier League I'd be very pleased with that. So fingers crossed we can get there, get to Wembley on Saturday, get the win, lift that playoff trophy at Wembley, and kick on from there.